I got no words. I absolutely got no words to describe what I just witnessed once again, because once again, it's another boring ass game where the Phillies struggle to score runs. So what? We are in 4 games into this homestand. I believe that is what, 35 innings or something like that. In what, they played 4 games, 9 innings apiece, like 35 or something like that. I think that's how many innings they have played so far. My math could be wrong. I haven't mathed in a while, but that's what I think it is because they were bringing that up on the broadcast. They've only scored 4 runs. 4 runs. They were blanked majority of this ball game. So if you combine yesterday's ball game basically going into the 8th inning tonight, so what is that? 17 innings? 17 innings straight where the Phillies haven't scored 1 run. It took them to the 9th inning to bring a run home with 2 outs when you were already down 4-0 to the Los Angeles Dodgers. And once again, a game where your bullpen, prevents more damage from happening. They only allow 1 run out of the bullpen. Ranger Suarez got roughed up. This is definitely not a start that we needed from Ranger Suarez, but we knew, honestly, we should have expected coming into this game that the Dodgers would be better prepared coming up against Ranger Suarez, who they faced last week and struggled against. And credit to the Dodgers, because after they won on Sunday in LA, walking off, with 2 strikes in the ninth, 2 outs in the 9th inning, they went a little bit of a winning streak for themselves. After that win, they swept the Diamondbacks in a 4-game series, I believe. So yeah, they're riding a little hot streak. Into Philadelphia, you struggled today, and honestly, I don't believe Urias was that good on the mound. I thought he left some things around the middle of the plate. I thought he left some pitches there to hit. He didn't, and you just didn't hit him. You struggled once again. And this, for some reason, just shows I understand why he's so vital to the lineup, but he shouldn't need to be with all the weapons that you have in this lineup. But Bryce Harper just continues to show why he is so valuable to this lineup. It shouldn't be this way. But Bryce Harper continuing most likely to have to carry this team on his back once again for another stretch. And we still don't know when he's going to be in the lineup. He got the shot injection on Sunday. We saw the report from Jason Stark talking about the shot, most likely saying it's going to be a 3 to 7 day process, even though for some reason Joe Girardi said, oh, we're going to expect him, maybe in the next couple of days or so. Haven't heard anything since, basically. We're not going to find out Bryce Harper's in the lineup, around 3 hours till, first pitch. So, yeah, it's kind of getting annoying in that aspect that we still don't know the timetable for Bryce Harper, even though the thing from Jason Stark said 3 to 7 day time period. So if you're looking at the 3 to 7 days, I think he's around day 5 or something like that. I think tomorrow will be day 6. So if Bryce Harper is not in the lineup by Sunday, Monday, going into next week's Brave series, there's something that they're not telling us. Honestly, I don't want to be that guy thinking they're still not telling us something. There's probably something even more wrong with this situation, why Bryce hasn't been in the lineup, but I'm not trying to go down that path just because of what the report Jason Stark said to the 3 to 7 day recovery process from the shot. So I'm assuming that is the situation. Hopefully Bryce can get back in the lineup tomorrow because they desperately need him. They desperately need him back in the lineup, and that should not be the case. Once he got taken out of the lineup, this lineup just looked dead. They just lost all the confidence in the world, and it's one of those situations where Bryce rolls, the rest of the lineup rolls. That shouldn't be the case. That should not be the case whatsoever. When you have guys in the lineup that can, provide for this offense, you have a Rhys Hoskins who's still on a nice stretch basically throughout the rest of the lineup. Alec Boehm, who's been reliable. Nick Castellanos, who's in a pretty much of a slump right now. Nick Castellanos is slumping, which, you don't want to see, even though I'm not worried about a Nick Castellanos because he's been around the bump and he's a professional hitter at the plate and he's going to get himself out of this funk. Kyle Schwarber, we're still waiting on that great stretch of home runs that he can hit in consecutive games. He had 2 doubles in today's game, so maybe that's something that wakes his bat up a little bit because he was one of the lone bright spots in this game from the batter's perspective. JT Realmuto continues to struggle in the batter's box. Johan Gamarga with 2 bunt singles, basically. Robin Quinn actually got a hit. Alec Boehm technically did laser one in the 8th inning that could have scored some runs, but it was hit right to Mookie Betts. It was one of those situations where they had him played perfectly. Would have been a double down the right field line if Mookie Betts just wasn't happening to be in that exact part of the outfield. Frustrating. It's just absolutely frustrating. where we haven't seen like a full consistent like stretch. 1 week the offense is good. 1 week the offense is bad. 1 week the pitching is good. 1 week the pitching is bad. If the offense is good, the pitching is bad. If the pitching is good, the offense. If the pitching is good, the offense is bad. If the offense is good, the pitching is bad. It's basically, either or of those combinations. We haven't seen a stretch where the pitching is good and the offense is good. Because your starting pitching recently has been pretty solid. And during this homestand, your bullpen has been pretty solid. Now, one game we're going to see the offense actually wake up a bit and your bullpen's going to blow a lead. That's what's going to happen, and that's exactly what I can see happening. I can honestly see that happening tomorrow. Your offense wakes up a little bit. Your bullpen doesn't. Aaron Nola is going to be on the bump tomorrow. Hopefully, he can give you another solid outing like he's done in the past. But can you, God forsaken, win a game for Aaron Nola? Win a game. Win a game for your pitching that's actually going out there and at least trying to do their job and shutting down this difficult Dodgers lineup, only holding them to 4 runs. Honestly, holding the Dodgers to 4 runs should be enough, to stay within the ball game, to score some runs, tie the game up, make it a contest. You tried in the 9th inning. You got the RBI hit by JT. Camargo got on with a swinging bunt, so you had the tying run on, and Odubel Herrera worked to count. But if Odubel Herrera does what Odubel Herrera does and swings at terrible pitches that are 50 feet in the dirt, thank God it wasn't a pitch that was in between his legs. Still, it was a terrible pitch to swing at when he had a couple of hittable pitches that were right down the middle of the plate from Craig Kimbrell. Yeah. Oh, God. Jeez, that's really frustrating. Really, really frustrating. I barely gone over the game yet, even though what I've said is basically summarizing the game, but it is really frustrating at this point. I see some guys in the live feed right now, even though sometimes when I go on these rants, I forget to do my welcome thing. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports and all that mumbo jumbo. You see it down in the description below, all that stuff. Subscribe button, like button, all that stuff. The code TTP Sports at SeatGeek. Use that stuff. Sometimes when I get into my moods watching these games, I just can't do that. I just got to get the energy out. It's basically what I'm doing at this point. I see channel name in the live feed, yet this team is flaccid as fuck right now. And he also says, have you been into any games this year? Yes, I was at yesterday's game where they got shut out by the Padres. I was also at opening day, and I was also at the afternoon game again. It was one of the first afternoon games against the Mets. It was Nola against Scherzer where they got destroyed in that game. So, yeah, I've been to a lot of afternoon games, 3 of them specifically. I do want to get to a night game in the near future. This offense just has to do something. Because still, overall, I do think eventually this Phillies team is going to go on a stretch where we are eventually enjoying ourselves. And we are enjoying ourselves about this team. Hell, we did that last week. But you know what sucked about it? It was out on the West Coast, and most people weren't watching those games because they were 10 o'clock on Friday, Saturday nights. No one was watching those games. 9:45, 10 o'clock in Seattle, 10 o'clock, 10:30 in Los Angeles. No one was watching those games. And the offense did their job that weekend, that week specifically. Then you come back to Citizens Bank Park and you look dead as shit. You got to be better. You got to be way better than what you're producing right now. Producing literally nothing. 4 runs this entire homestand. Shut out in 2 games. You were almost shut out basically tonight. If not for the RBI single with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Honestly, I would consider that a shutout because it was garbage time, even though you had a chance to tie the game. With Odubel Herrera up the plate, even though he wasn't going to tie it. He wasn't going to tie it. It's fucking Odubel Herrera. Oh, God. Channel says you've only been to the game that Schwarber got thrown out by Angel Hernandez because he was so bad as an umpire. Oh, man, that was probably your most entertaining part of that game, seeing that entire sequence go down. Man. This is just an overall really frustrating stretch by this team so far. You lose 4-1 to the Dodgers. Ranger Suarez doesn't give you a start that you can use. The Dodgers worked them. They definitely did. They got the revenge from the last start in LA. Ranger Suarez on the mound, he got worked. Worked a lot. Only 3 innings pitched. 5 hits allowed, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts on 84 pitches. This is definitely not a game that you needed from Ranger Suarez. Bullpen, no, they did their job. Nelson in 2 innings He allowed 2 hits. He got into some trouble. He managed to get out of those situations. Norwood pitched 2 innings, got into some trouble, managed to get out of those situations. Familia in the 8th inning actually wasn't terrible, but even though he allowed a hit and a walk someone. So, yeah, he still got out of it, though, from a double play standpoint. Bilotti in the 9th inning allowed a sac fly. So, because of a throwing error by JT Realmuto trying to throw at Freddie Freeman at first base. And if JT doesn't do that, it's still, a 2-run game going into the 9th inning, I guess, at that point, when you do score that run. And maybe, Dubal Herrera has a chance to walk the game off as the winning run at the plate instead. But, that situation probably wouldn't have changed because it's a Dubal Herrera and he swings at anything that is 50 feet in the dirt or near his legs for some reason. It's like sometimes a Dubal Herrera can put some great at-bats up where he's taking good pitches, he's working the count, and he's finding ways to work the count. And there are some at-bats where Dubal Herrera is literally swinging at anything possible. I just don't understand. And it was a mix of that and that at-bat. Took a couple of good balls, missed a couple of pitches that were down the middle. Probably should have crushed those. And he swings at a pitch in the dirt. And exactly, I think it was Kruk called it on the broadcast. Most likely Kimbrel here is throwing a curveball. Exactly did that, and that's what a Dubal chased. So looking through this ball game, because basically nothing happened at this point. Basically throughout, Suarez struggles in the 1st inning. Freddie Freeman singles, Trey Turner walks, Will Smith walks, so you got a bases loaded situation right here. Justin Turner grounds into a force out, brings a run home, but then Ranger gets out of the 1st inning only allowing 1 run. Honestly, there were a lot of situations where it felt like this 4-1 win by the Dodgers could have been way more for them. Probably could have had at least 7-8 runs on the board. That's what kind of what these games felt like in that situation. 2nd inning, they get 2 more runs on the board. Alberto singles, fielder's choice from Gavin Lux, then Mookie Betts doubles. Freddie Freeman gets an RBI single with 2 outs. Trey Turner strikes out. So you got a 3-run lead there for the Dodgers in the 2nd inning. Phillies are really struggling basically the entire day. Got a couple of 2-out hits. Really nothing happened there. 4th inning, 1, 2, 3. 5th inning, Schwarber gets a leadoff double. Nothing happens there. No one can bring him home. 6th inning, nothing for them. 7th inning, Segura gets a single. Nothing happens there. 8th inning, Camargo bunts. Get 2-out situation for Rhys Hoskins. He walks. Alec Bohm gets a nice rip, but sadly it was right at Mookie Betts, who was just in the perfect spot possible. Unlucky, fortunate situation right there. Going to the 9th inning, Freddie Freeman leads off with a single against Bilotti. Steals 2nd base. JT tries a throw. It was a terrible throw that bounced over the glove of Gene Segura. Goes into center field. Freddie Freeman goes to 3rd base. So an error right there on JT. And then Trey Turner on the very next pitch, it's a sac fly, makes it 4-0. That's the last run for the Dodgers. You go to the 9th inning. First 2 guys gets out. Nick Castellanos, Gene Segura get out. Kyle Schwarber doubles into the left center field gap. JT then doubles, works the count, so it was actually a good at bat by JT in that situation, makes it a 4-1 ball game. In comes Kimbrel. Camargo on the first pitch, just a check swing type of bunt, goes up the line, hustled down the first base line to beat the play. Got safe. And then Dubal Herrera in a 2-2 count. First pitch ball, second pitch ball, foul ball, swinging at a curveball in the dirt. And that's how your ball game ends. So looking at the lineup, because not much happened, as you know this. Rhys Hoskins in the leadoff spot today, 0 for 3 with a walk. Alec Bohm, 0 for 4. His average is dipping a little bit. It's down to 290. So he's got a little bit of a rut right here, but I'm confident with the way Alec Bohm has been swinging the bat. Mostly this season, he'll get himself out of this rut. Same thing with Nick Castellanos. He went 0 for 4 with a strikeout. His average is now down to 264. He's in a little bit of a major rut right now, but still, I am perfectly not worried about Nick Castellanos. He's been around the bump. I'm perfectly think he's capable of getting himself out of this rut. Gene Segura is 1 for 4. Kyle Schwarber was your best hitter today in 2 for 4. JT went 1 for 4. Johan Camargo went 2 for 4. Dubal Herrera goes 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. And Roman Quinn goes 1 for 3. Runners in scoring position. You had your chances. You went 2 for 7. It's just overall frustrating. Overall frustrating because with the way you had that road trip last week, when you're scoring all these runs, and then suddenly Bryce Harper comes out of the lineup, boom, all your magic is snapped. Just because one guy, I know Bryce Harper is a major piece to this lineup, and he is the MVP for a reason. But still, you have way too many people in this lineup that can handle their own without Bryce Harper. It just can't be another situation where this team is ride or die by Bryce Harper, because we knew what Bryce Harper did last year. He basically carried the team to the final week of the season where he ran out of gas and they get eliminated in the final week. We have more guys in this lineup that can hold their own, and right now they're not doing it. I don't know if it's a confidence issue. I don't know why it feels like when this team goes into a slump, it's literally every single batter in the lineup that goes into a major slump. Like, why can't it be like 2 guys go into a slump, 2 other guys are hot? No, it's 5 guys are in a slump and 1 guy's hot. 6 guys are in a slump and 2 guys are hot. It's never like the other way around. I don't know. Maybe I wish we could have got a revenge in the 9th inning with 2 outs. I kind of wish that was going to be the case scenario right there, but it just didn't happen. I do want to see if there's any comments from Joe Girardi, though, talking about Bryce Harper possibly being in the lineup tomorrow. I doubt there will be anything in that situation. Let's see. Tim Kelly talking about Alec Bohm. Alec Bohm hasn't homered since April 28th. Singles are great, and you can make a career off consistently making contact, but that shouldn't be the ceiling for him offensively. The Phillies need some thump out of the bat from time to time, and it's in there, needs to be unlocked. Yeah, that is one criticism I can see for that I do give to Alec Bohm. The guy lives, he hits basically to every part of the field, gets on base, gets singles, gets doubles, gets extra base hits. The power's in there. For some reason, he just can't hit the ball, get the ball out of the ballpark consistently. It takes him a while to get the ball out of the ballpark. It's in there. The guy consistently hits the ball hard. For some reason, it's just not going for some reason. I'm not sure if he's not trying to hit home runs and he's just trying to get on base. But yeah, I do need to see some more pop from Alec Bohm. I would really like to see that from him. I'm trying to see if there's anything else on Bryce Harper, anything else from Joe Girardi. Oh yeah, here's an interesting stat for you folks. So this was before this game. This is from John Foley, a great follow on Twitter for all Phillies nonsense. So in the Phillies' this was before tonight's game. So in their last 20, the Phillies are 10-10. In their last 50, they're 25-25. In their last 200 games, they're 100-100. So they're on the brink of 500, basically on every stretch possible you could think. Honestly, that's amazing how that can consistently happen. That's actually fucking hilarious. It really is. But I really need to see if there's anything on Harper from Joe Girardi at all. Is there anything from Joe Girardi? Let's see. Anything from nope, nothing looks like from Joe Girardi. Not seeing anything on Twitter. Is there anything on Bryce Harper? Most likely not. Most likely it's going to be another situation. We're not going to find out until tomorrow afternoon before the game. It's going to be one of those situations again, isn't it? I really hope this guy's in the lineup. I really hope Bryce is in the lineup. If I can see if there's anything here. Is there anything here? Joe Girardi, anything on Bryce Harper? Joe Girardi, where the hell are you at? I want to see this man. I don't know. Let's see. Channel name says you get off work at 9, so you don't get to see many games, and you rely on me for the recaps. Well, I thank you very much for relying on me for the recaps. I definitely appreciate that. And I always, like I say, I recap every single game, unless this team drives me crazy. They are driving me crazy, but I'm still recapping every single game, watching every single game like a madman, going through all the emotions. Right now, we're in the frustration mode. Sooner or later, hopefully, we're in the excitement mode. Hopefully, that's sooner rather than later. You only catch the last few innings of the game. You thought the review in the 9th inning would go the other way. You were surprised. Yeah, honestly, I thought that would have been a funny situation because the Dodgers did review the double for JT to see if he was out at second base. If he was called out on there, that would be fucking hilarious. You score your only run, and then the out comes on JT's double. That would have been hilarious. That would have been hilarious if that happened. I want to see if Still nothing on Joe Girardi. If there's nothing on Joe Girardi, I'm probably going to just wait and see what happens tomorrow. Scott in the game. There we go. Here we go. Scott says, during the game, our announcers kept saying the Phillies are only down 3 runs. Really? Have they been watching the last 4 games? Help. They're one of those ruts right now. And it's one of those situations too. Like every time, like during this game, especially where I see a pitch that like goes like down the middle of the plate, and these guys like just foul it off. I'm like, oh, like that was a pitch. Like, come on, guys, you gotta be ready for that. You gotta take advantage of that. Like every time that situation happens, because it happens a lot. There's a lot of hittable pitches that this team sees, and they just foul it off. I don't know if their timing is off or anything like that. I don't know. It's just one of the situations, I guess. They'll get themselves out of it most likely, but can it please be sooner rather than later? Can you at least give the people at Citizens Bank Park some excitement and not do all your hitting and stuff, all the exciting stuff when it's like 10 o'clock at night when no one's watching the game besides me and a couple of other dudes? Please. Channel name says, should we trade any hitters for some bullpen arms? I feel like we have a bunch of DHs, and I feel like we have blown too many great starts. I'm sure Dave Dombrowski's going to do some things most likely at the trade deadline. Most likely, like any of the moves you see, you'll most likely see them by the deadline. I'm not sure what Dave would have up its sleeve. I'm sure he's going to look for bullpen arms. I'm sure he's going to look for pitching depth and stuff like that. Does he look for something to add to the lineup? Maybe does he trade one of these guys that are in the lineup? I'm not sure. I am not sure whatsoever. I cannot tell you that. I know Dave's going to do some work. I do trust Dave Dombrowski, whatever he does. Right now, we just got to wait and see. Most trades and stuff you won't see most likely until the trade deadline, because really no Major League Baseball team is trading away pieces this early in the season. That just doesn't happen. You're most likely not seeing that until by the All-Star break or until after the All-Star break. So you're going to have a little bit of time. And it would be nice, too, for this team just to wake up a little bit. Just because I know with everything with the Mets situation, I hope like no one on any rival team gets injured, because that's just a situation. I want to see the best team out there possible going up against the best team possible, seeing what this team is capable of. But now for the Mets, when you have Scherzer injured, now he's out 6 to 8 weeks. They still don't have the Grom back. They're going to be going on a tough schedule in the next couple of months. They're going to be feeling it a little bit. In the Phillies schedule, it's going to lighten up a little bit too. Because granted, like I'm trying not to find any excuse here, because there definitely aren't any excuses for this team. But the Phillies, I think, reportedly have the toughest schedule to open up the season in April and May. And the schedule is definitely going to lighten up as the season goes along. When you get into June, when you get into July and August and all that stuff, when you're seeing worse teams. Because if you're looking at the schedule with the way you started the season, like the worst team you probably faced, honestly, is the Oakland Athletics. I feel like that's the worst team this team has probably faced this year so far. Honestly, I want to look at their schedule too right now just to see that. So if I go to their ESPN and just want to see their schedule so far, just to see the teams that they have faced and the quality of teams. Overall, yeah, the worst team they probably faced that's on this list in April and May is Oakland. Looking at their schedule, Oakland, Mets, Miami. Miami has a great pitching staff, but still they should be a beatable team. But the Phillies and the Miami Marlins, for some reason, they're Achilles heel. Rockies, Brewers, Rockies again, Mets. You face the Mets so many times. The Rangers have actually gotten hot since you faced them. What are they now? 18 and 20. I believe they were worse when you played them. So they gotten a little hot since. What else? Mariners, Dodgers, Padres, Dodgers. And looking at the rest of the month going into June, Braves, Mets, Giants, Angels, Milwaukee. So your next upcoming series are still going to be more difficult. That's basically it. Honestly, even though I said this at the beginning of the month, if you find your way to still be around 500 at the end of May going into June, I still think that's probably the best case scenario you could possibly be in, just because of all the tough schedule. Even though it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse at all. Like, I'm just trying to find a way to find a bright spot here. That's really what I'm trying to do. Because, like I said, your upcoming schedule, you got a 4-game series against the Braves next week. That's the first time you're facing them. And the Braves, they're still not the best team so far. They still are struggling to find their way. You got the Mets again, Giants, Angels, who are a really good team this year. They're 26-16. Good pitching, good offense all around. So, yeah, the Angels are going to be a tough contest. Brewers, we all know what the Brewers are with their elite pitching staff. But then look at what you have after you face the Brewers. Diamondbacks, Miami. This is all in June. Basically after, I would say, the first week of June, most likely. Diamondbacks, Miami, 4-game series against, no, actually a 5-game series against Washington. One of those days is a doubleheader. Texas again, Padres for a 4-game series, Braves, Cardinals, that's a tough team. Washington again, Cardinals again, Toronto, Miami. So your schedule does lighten up a little bit. Looking at the second half going into July, Cubs, Braves, Pirates, Braves again, Nationals, Marlins, Mets, Reds again. That's weird. You have a stretch where you're only playing the Mets and the Reds. That's funny. Pirates, Diamondbacks. So your schedule does get a lot easier. It really does. The one thing I don't like about this schedule, though, is that when you play one team like 1 week, it's like 5-7 days after you're playing them again. Like, where's the little bit of discrepancy? Like, okay, we played the Dodgers last week in LA. Okay, maybe we won't see the Dodgers maybe until June, July. Nope, we're seeing in the very next week. It's weird. It's a weird schedule. It just is. It just is. I don't know. If we can stay competitive through this month, you're not going to be worried. Yeah, that's honestly a good mindset to have. That definitely is. That's basically what, if you could find a way to stay 500 throughout the rest of this month, you're probably in the best case scenario possible with the way the schedule does lighten up. But overall, this team still needs to get better overall. They do. They need to find a way to be more consistent. Hope the Mets gonna Met and blow it. Man, that's what we all hope. Even though, like, I don't hope for injuries with their team, with the way what's happening with Scherzer and DeGrom. I really, like, I don't pray for any injury for any player. But at the end of the day, also, that was one of the question marks going into the season for the Mets when they put all in that money for DeGrom, all that money for Scherzer. It's a lot of money tied up in guys that, with the DeGrom situation, he's been injured the past couple of seasons. He got injured partway through last year. He missed the entire season. Had some injury history in the past. That was always going to be a question mark with DeGrom, his health. And then, paying all that money for a Scherzer who is in his late 30s. And, your body isn't going to be the same as it used to be when you were in your prime. So injury risk is always a high risk with an older player. In the dead arm situation for Scherzer was always a problem too coming into this season. So that was the risk you were taking. That was the risk for the Mets. So right now they're facing it. And they're facing that adversity, and you got to see how they handle it. Right now, the Phillies, they got to figure out how to fight their situation. Ugh. And would love to see Scherzer and DeGrom play because they are the top of the game, but not just against us. Yeah, you and me both. You and me both. I don't know. Hopefully, we can find a way to win tomorrow. Hopefully. Turning 24 this weekend, so hopefully they can, celebrate my birthday coming up soon with, a couple of bit wins in a row. So, yeah, hopefully they can do that. Hopefully that'll be a nice birthday present to me. So, yeah, I think that is where I'm going to end it, folks. I'm going to end it off here. I got a Stanley Cup playoff game basically right in front of the Oilers versus Flames 2-1 at the end of the first period, so that's going to be very good. Scott says we both are looking ahead at the schedule, and it's only May and June. I usually don't start looking in August sometime. I was just basically looking at the schedule just to see, how the schedule actually does lighten up, because that was like mainly the reports coming into the season. The Phillies had a really tough schedule for the first 2 months, and then it really lightened up going into the end of the stretch. So even though that's basic, it means nothing at this point, because at the end of the day, your team does need to perform to its expectations. Granted, yes, you are playing very tough teams to start the first 2 months, and maybe finishing 500 in the first 2 months is your best case scenario. I don't know. I just want this team to play better. We all want this team to play better. So I can understand the frustration from everyone. So that's going to end it for here, everyone. What are your thoughts on this game? What are your thoughts on everything? Specifically, Bryce Harper in the situation as well. Hopefully, he does come back into the lineup tomorrow. We need the Bryce Harper back. Even if it's 75% Bryce Harper, we need him back for something. Oh, God. Yep. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for the birthday wishes channel. Scott, have a great evening. You too, Scott. Have a great evening. So don't forget to leave your comments and opinions down in the comment section below. I'd like to see those as always. Do not forget to drop a like on this video. Do not forget to check out the Painted Lines, which I'm a part of. The links are down in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the links to BrodesMedia, the Flyer to Pod merch website, and also Flyers Nitty Gritty. All that good stuff is down in the description below. Do not forget to check those out. And like I said at the beginning of the video, the most important thing you do is hit that sub button and also use the code TTPSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. And I will see you next time.